Live. I think we are looking at it, which is good. I can see we've got a few people in the chat already. I will just wait to see if anyone says that we are all good and going before I start reading anything else out or anything like that. But yeah, second live in 2 days. Let's go. I enjoyed the last one so much that we had to come back and do another because, you know, it's World's Strongest Man Week, so that is what we do. How are we all doing? What have we got in the chat? We've got Leon saying, finally something I can do instead of sitting around watching Strongman YouTube all day. Sit around and watch live Strongman YouTube. Exactly the same boat as me. That is the entire reason why I've gone live, because I've watched everything Strongman YouTube has put out in the last day or two already, and I had a couple hours to kill before we go ahead and watch the Loz and Liz spreadsheet parties. So, you know, here we are in the live chat. I thought I'd come on and chat to you guys before we all get kicked off and just have a bit of fun chatting some Strongman this afternoon. What's other people saying? Andrew saying, good afternoon, a tad chilly in Daventry, so I've come in from gardening to get warm. Yeah, it has suddenly gone off very chilly down here in the Cotswolds as well. The last few days it has been absolutely gorgeous weather. In fact, I even got a bit sunburnt the other day. But it's almost perfect timing for me because I didn't want to waste the nice weather sitting inside watching World's Strongest Man. So I'm kind of glad it's gone off chilly just in time. It is perfect. What have we got? Alvin, I think we have about 3 hours until event 1. Let's go. Yes, I think we do as well. I think Loz and Liz are going live at 5:45, is it? We're 5:45 English time. I don't know what that is everywhere else. I think 12:45 EST maybe. I think that's when they're going live. So I thought I'd jump on for an hour or two before then and have a bit of a chat. Alex Hilking saying, most interested to see how Lucas Hatton does on this event in his group, hoping he can get off to a strong start. Me too. As I said yesterday in a few of my videos, Lucas is a quick mover, but is he as quick as the likes of like Shane Flowers and Mateusz? We will see. I'm excited to see how Lucas gets on for sure. ChatGPT Intel, what time is the event starting? Loz has the first event live for 12:45 EST. Yeah, I think it's starting at, I guess, 1 EST, which is 6 PM UK time, so they're going live just 15 minutes before it starts. That's, yeah, as far as I know, that's what's happening. Bronchopped, howdy, how's everyone doing? I'm doing fantastic, waiting for the Strongman to kick off, and thought I'd go live and chat about it because I'm bored of sitting around. I've watched everything Strongman YouTube has to offer, so I thought let's talk some Strongman before we get kicked off. Media proof, let's go. Morning all. It is the afternoon for me, but morning to you. I am very excited for this Strongman to kick off. DV3000, Tom looks surprisingly good at the block press. Tom looks massive. Tom looks confident. Tom looks in insane shape. It is exciting me. I'm really excited to see Tom do some impressive stuff this weekend. Dominic saying it's going to be a long evening. Hello all. Speaking of a long evening, I think it's time we crack on with our first, actually second, White Monster of the day. First of the live streams. I will probably have at least one more before the evening is done. So I think it is time, perfect time to get cracking on that. Chris saying, morning Toby, happy first day of World's Strongest Man. Thanks for keeping my sanity at work during this time. How's training? Yeah, no problem. I booked work off because I knew I wouldn't have been able to keep myself away from all the Strongman stuff. Training's good. I've had a few days where I'm being a bit sore and a bit like sort of battered, but I think that's expected after doing a heavy deadlift and some pretty heavy events training at the weekend. So I've actually taken an extra rest day today because normally I'd have deadlifts on a Thursday, but I decided to take an extra rest and sort of get my body working before we go and hit some heavy deads tomorrow, hopefully. So that is, yeah, that's how training's going pretty well. Excited to build some more strength. I've got some good plans coming up. Bronchopped, haven't been this excited for the heats in years. Me too. Like, this World's Strongest Man has been exciting me massively. I cannot wait till it all kicks off and we get to our normal spreadsheet parties. Super, super excited. ChatGPT Intel saying, Shane said Tom didn't find the Hercules hold heavy. whereas other competitors found it heavy. I know in the past it was his weakest event. Yeah, I mean, if Tom's mindset is there that the Hercules hold is weak, I think that's good for him. I don't think the Herc hold for Tom has ever been a grip issue. I think it's been a mindset issue. So if he's going in with mindset in a good place, it's going to be interesting. Alex Hilking, I'm competing this weekend. We'll take some discipline not to stay up late watching the results coming in. Yeah, focus on your own competition, mate. But I competed over the Arnolds and I had absolutely no discipline. So hopefully you could do better than me. I stayed up watching the Arnolds and even had it on my phone while I was competing. So yeah, definitely take the time to focus on your competition. Dakota, definitely biased because of being from Wisconsin and watching him compete in person, but I'm very excited to see what Bryce Johnson can do. All groups are tough and his looks are brutal. Yeah, Bryce is one I'm really interested to see how he gets on. He seems like a really nice chap and he looks like an absolute tank. So I hope he can do some very good performances. I'm excited to see him at other big shows as well going forward. Joey Curtis, is there live scoring via SPD? I'm not sure who's doing the live scoring, but I'm sure we will get some via Strongman Archives, World's Strongest Man themselves, SPD, whoever. I'm sure it'll be out there. Andrew Gilbertson, who will be fastest overall, Tom or Mitch? Good question. I don't know. I don't think, you know what, out of the overall heats, I don't think either of them will be the fastest. I think it will be someone else. I think it'll be like a Paddy or a Shane Flowers or a Pavlo Cordiaca will be like super speedy, but I think Tom and Mitch will be definitely up there and it wouldn't be surprising me if it is either of them. Dominic Smith, it's a White Monster and Creed kind of day for sure. Absolutely. I've had Creed and Nickelback on all morning while I've been out and about doing some walking, so it is absolutely that sort of day. Perfect strongman conditions that. Avery Stars, do you have any competitions lined up in the near future? Absolutely none. I'm currently not signed up to do anything. I reckon my next competition will just likely be Oxfordshire's next year. Again, I tend to only do a couple a year. Again, competing for me isn't something that I got in the sport to do. I never thought I'd be competing. It's more just something I do for fun when I am looking for a challenge or the good comps come up, and I like supporting like Paddy and what's going on in the Oxfordshire scene, so I try and get any local comps done, but I don't really care too much for like spending loads of money travelling to do local shows. I just love the training, I love following the sport, and the competition is sort of an added bonus for me. So whenever there's a competition that spikes my interest or is local enough, then I'll probably do one. But for now, nothing in the pipeline. Melvin, I've been spending the whole World's Strongest Man week in spreadsheets. When it's not predicting World's Strongest Man, I'm doing training programs and diet stuff. Brain is fried already, and there are quite a few days left of World's Strongest Man sheets. Me and you both, I've been stuck in spreadsheets for work as well. So it is just the bane of my life recently, and I'm more excited for these ones than I've ever been. Media proof, Tom looks crazy strong as long as the deadlift is back on form. Yeah, Tom is looking in really good shape. I'm very, very excited. Bron Shop, Lugar and Tom said Hercules hold felt easy in the boneyard. Terry did it fully and said he doesn't think that many will break a minute. Yeah, you know, it's an interesting one, I think. I think for different people, grip holds feel very different. So for me, like, whenever I do a grip hold, and I know I'm nowhere near these guys' level, but whenever I do like a grip hold, a dead hang, anything like that, it instantly feels hard. It instantly feels horrible for me. But I can hold on for a very long time. Like, it's probably my best strongman event is grip holding. And it never feels comfortable, never feels nice. So yeah, it's different for different people, because yeah, I'm sure some people find it feels really easy but then taper off quite quickly. For me, it always feels hard, but we can hold on. So yeah, I think it might be a case of different strokes for different folks, I guess, but it'll be interesting to see. DV3000, is it just me, or is Bryce Johnson reminds me of Brian Shaw? He looks like he does. You know what? I think it's like, if you got AI to generate an American strongman, I think you'd get Bryce Johnson. Like, I think you just would. Like, that's exactly how I think of it, because it's like, here's just enough like Brian Shaw influenced that you could see that AI would have like taken that and made him. So yeah, I agree with you for sure. Grimdork Future, well, hey, didn't miss it this time. Yeah, welcome. I decided to schedule it a bit more in advance this time, so people had the chance to catch up. Bronchop Rayner looking really good in the boneyard. Yeah, he really is. And that bend he did on the stone press, I've never seen someone bend quite that much on something, perhaps apart from Ben Glasscock doing a log press. Like, he went proper C-shaped. Morning, Alex. How is it going? A natural. Do you think Tom is back in his best for the deadlift since working with MST? I'd hope he is. I'd hope he's close. I don't know whether he'll be back to his like absolute best, like Britain's Strongest Man when they had 400 for a rep sort of shape, but I think he'll be better than we've seen him recently. Joey Curtis, loading medley is right now. I don't think it is. I think it's at 6, but if it is, then tell me to shut up. I'll end the live and we'll go watch it. Elvin Bailey, do you like the slight changes in the press medley? One axle press at the end, but I think it's a bit heavier. Yeah, I don't mind them. I don't like the fact it's changed so late, because obviously that's a very heavy axle to just add like 20 kilos to, but most of the guys won't really care about that, and I kind of prefer it being slightly heavier, so that's my opinion. It doesn't really bother me either way. I think it's very similar. I just wish they had like a bit more notice and it wasn't such a last minute change. Avery Stars, what is your best Captains of Crush Gripper? I've never done a Captains of Crush Gripper ever. I hate grippers. If you watch there's a video on Paddy's channel where me and him went head to head doing a grip challenge, and I did the Gods of Grip grippers, and I did crap. I did awful. I'm not good at grippers. My crushing strength isn't that great, but my endurance in grips really, really good. So give me a bar and I can hold on to it really, really well, but just my gripper strength's crap. And I don't think they carry over that great to anything else, really. I think if you're good at grippers, you're good at grippers, and that's about it. So that's my opinion on that. I know that rustles a few feathers in the grip world, but yeah. Andrew, the new format makes who is best in each event interesting and important. In the past, it was just a bit of fun. Yeah, we're going to all have our calculators out trying to keep on top of who's doing the best overall. It's going to be very, very interesting. Media Proof, throw those likes up there for Toby, lads. Yes, please do. Please like the stream. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Like, all of that goes massively towards helping a smaller channel like myself. Like, you guys probably don't realise how much just like one subscription and one like actually does help a channel of my size, because we're so used to the massive channels with hundreds of thousands of subscribers where you feel like you get a bit lost as just a number in that. But for someone like me who's got a very small channel, everything helps. So yeah, please go down below, like, subscribe, share it around, and yeah, as I said, if you want to go like super above and beyond, join as a member, leave a super chat, something like that. Not pressuring you to do that at all. I know I've neglected the members only section a bit recently, but post World's Strongest Man, if we get a few members going, I will be coming back to that. That's more of like I'll just make a video about anything on there. So anything you guys want to see on members only or on the channel in general, just leave them in the chat and I'll make a note of them, because I'm always looking for ideas. Dominic, that narrow grip on the circus barbell is going to throw a lot of the jerk lifters off, especially the taller, long-armed athletes. Absolutely. Something like that would have thrown me off massively. I take a nice wide grip when I'm continental cleaning, so hopefully the guys who are a bit less mobile can still get on quite well, because it's pretty nasty being it quite narrow. Joey's saying, never mind, it's 2 hours from now, everything's in PST. Yeah, we've got a little while yet, so sit tight and chat with me for a bit, and then we'll get over into the fun stuff a bit later. ChatGPT Intel, if Bryce makes it to the finals, he will win Hercules Hold. Have you seen his feats of grip strength on his earlier Instagram videos? It's insane. I have not. I will have to go and check that out, because that sounds like something I'd be interested in. So I will be doing that after this live stream. I'll be going to check those out. Alex Hill King, I think the axle in the overhead medley could cost some athletes. In my opinion, Rag and Dawinski. Yeah, for sure. And even someone like Rag, who's got such a bad shoulder mobility front rack, or at least he used to when he was bigger. I'm not sure how that is now. He's lost a lot of weight, but that narrow grip on the barbell, as we were saying earlier, getting that clean like that, when you're wider you can sort of go a bit lower, but if you're so narrow it's going to be right up here. It's going to be a really hard thing to get clean, so hopefully that doesn't bother them too much. Melvin, I feel like grippers and crushing strength isn't too relevant for strongman. I agree. I think for strongman you need to be able to like hold a bar, and like crushing strength on a bar is perfect. So like axle deadlifts, double overhand axle, rolling thunder, that sort of thing, really great for strongman. Any sort of grip endurance, holding anything long, and pinch grip as well. Pinch grip like blobs, pinch blocks, plate pinching, really, really underrated for strongman, because even without your thumb, being able to pinch like that with your hands is perfect for like holding a sandbag, holding that sort of thing. So would fully recommend getting some pinch grip in your program if you haven't already. It really does carry over well. Grump. It would be really good if they did an overall leaderboard as well as the groups. I fully agree. I hope they do. And I'm sure if they don't, someone will probably have it whipped up. Because we're all strongman nerds at the end of the day. So I'm sure someone will keep it going. Garage training. What is the first event? I believe it is the loading medley. The classic way to start a world's strongest man off. Partigaz. Rag looked awkward during the familiarization from his mobility. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, hopefully that doesn't cost him too much. But we will see. Grimdork Future. I think this is the first time we're going to see a real Tom versus Mitch. 2023, Tom underestimated Mitch. 2024, Tom tore his hands. So I think this year is going to be the real test. I think so. Really do. I hope it's not just a two-man race, though. I hope people like Evan Singleton, Trey Mitchell, Lucas Hatton are all up there as well. But I think it's going to be a really interesting World's Strongest Man this year. At least I hope it will be. Anthony, hey Toby, just came over from Loz's channel waiting for the World's Strongest spreadsheet. Yeah, join us, that's why we're here. I'm also waiting as well. I've got it open in a separate tab from my stream. Yeah, just sort of whiling away the time while we are waiting for World's Strongest Man to kick off. So I thought most guys will probably be doing the same as me, just sat waiting. So why not get on a stream and chat away? Media proof. Several people struggled on those natural stones. That's going to be a really interesting event. I think so. I think it's going to look tough. Some people will make it look easy. Some people make it look really tough. It'll be very interesting to see how that separates people. I think it's going to end up being a really good event. I think it's going to be good fun. ChatGPT Intel. Do you think Tom's 2 months with Shane is enough? I think it's enough to peak him for Worlds, because Tom always peaks for Worlds. He knows how to peak for Worlds. And I think, hopefully, fingers crossed, the most dangerous Tom we'll see is when he's been with Shane longer and we're at Strongest Man on Earth. That's going to be interesting to see the difference from last year's Strongest Man on Earth to this year's when they've had a lot of time together. Garage training. Wonder how Thor would do on these events. Yeah, it's an interesting one from Thor. I think he'd do quite well, to be honest. Obviously, the bag throw is very, very tall. Pretty good at loading. The overhead medley... it would probably be alright for him. Like, even though it's a heavier axle at the end, I don't think it's too heavy that he wouldn't get a rep, judging by what he's been doing, like the Arnolds and stuff. I think, yeah, his behind the neck jerk's not bad. Elevated deadlift, I have no idea for Thor. Obviously, he's one of the best deadlifters in the world, but it doesn't always carry over. But I'd expect him to be 1 or 2 in that event. So, yeah, I think these would be very good events for Thor. Oliver Jones, other than Tom, which Brit do you expect to perform the best? I think Shane Flowers can have a really good competition this one. Certainly in the heats. I think Shane's sort of a bit of an underrated one, where a lot of people are saying like Luke Richardson will do very well. A lot of people saying Paddy's name as well. But I think Shane's flying a little bit under the radar as someone who is obviously just come back from injury, did very, very well at Brits, and then has just been training solidly for Worlds this whole time. And they're good events for him in the heats, so I'd look out for Shane. Ronald Ryans, the way Tom blasted the stone press was such a flex to everyone else. I know, it was just ridiculous. Tom and Luke looking just ridiculous on that stone press. Partigaz, having to refresh 2 of the Strongman Reddit threads instead of 1 now. I know, I've got to I need to get a proper multi-screen setup, 4 laptops going, all of the information across multiple screens. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Grimdork Future. I'm currently walking through the glorious Lancashire countryside, getting my steps in now so I can be completely veg out for World's Strongest Man. I am very jealous. It is such a beautiful part of the country up in Lancashire. I did the same thing this morning. I did a big Cotswolds walk this morning, and now I am vegetating in front of the screen, ready for World's Strongest Man. Dominic, is the loading medley actually going into Cybertrucks? I didn't know if it was confirmed or not. I assume so. I mean, I haven't seen anything of the Cybertrucks in anyone's videos or anything. But I'm guessing it will be. That was the rumour, so... Exol or Zol or however you want to say it. Tom S looking insanely strong. Ridiculous genetics. I wonder what their parents ate for them to have 3 beasts like that. I know. It is just absurd. Something in the Scottish water for sure. Melvin... I've become a real grip nerd lately while nursing a shoulder and back injuries. Coming back to strongman events, I feel a huge difference, especially sandbags and axle cleans. Yeah, I mean, just having a really strong grip for anything strongman is fantastic. It makes you feel so much more locked in to anything, even like a deadlift. Even though you're using straps, having a strong enough grip to feel locked into the bar just mentally is so good. It's so much better. I'd highly recommend just getting grip involved in any strongman training. I do grip every single week in some fashion, and I absolutely love it. So ChatGPT until Tom's mum was very tall, and that's why 3-piece came out. She was probably Viking. Fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense. Andrew's saying Luke Stoneman, I think he will do really, really well in the heats. Yeah, I could see Luke doing well. He looks in very good shape. That stone press he did was just ridiculous, so I think Luke can have a good showing for sure. Ronald, thoughts, Toby, on the heavier axle at the end of the press medley? Yeah, so I sort of touched on this a minute ago. I don't really mind it too much. I would have preferred, it to be like a medley of 1 reps, everything heavier. But I would have preferred that to be the case from the start. I don't like the fact they changed things so last minute, but it's World's Strongest Man. That's what they do. The athletes will have prepared for that. But for me, I'm not a huge fan of the 2 reps at every implement. I just don't think it's that necessary. It's a cool different challenge, but I would have preferred, just a heavier medley with 1 rep at each. But it's still going to be a really great event. It doesn't change things too much for me. I like pretty much every event they do. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Death Metal Channel, how much longer for the show? A couple hours, I think. Yeah, maybe 2.5 hours until it all kicks off. So you're stuck with me for a little bit longer, and then comes the countdown to the actual event. Liquid Bishop, how many big names do you expect not making the finals? In my opinion, Mateusz, Trey, Rag, Andrade are in great danger. Yeah, any of those guys are in with a shot of not making it. I mean, any of the guys are in with a shot of not making it. I think the only sort of like certain athletes that we expect to make it through are Tom and Mitch at this point. Like, everyone is just so good that it's going to be very interesting to see how those groups shake out. It's the most excited I've been for the heats at World's Strongest Man in a very, very long time. So, yeah, very, very excited. Media proof grip is amazing all round, even just for upchain. It's a must. Absolutely agree, 100%. Zol, do you think the drama is affecting Lucas and Mitch a lot, or not so much? No, I don't think at all. I think Mitch said it very well in one of his recent videos or live streams. He's there to do a job. This is his job, so he's just going to get it in and get it done. And he also said, like, for you to assume there's nothing going on at any other show as well, just because it's like a public thing now, would be wrong. So I think every guy deals with something at some point where you have to go out and perform regardless. So I think they'll be just fine, to be honest. Alex, okay, now I can actually hear, lol. Breakfast, caffeine, meds, and then have to decide if I want to go to the gym or not before or after work. Yeah, you and me both. I am chugging down the caffeine. This is my second one of the day, and certainly won't be my last. Ready for Strongman. Garage Trading, favourite Strongman of all time. I've said this before, I will say it again. Trey Mitchell is my absolute favourite strongman. I just think he's a beast. He looks like a beast. He's so quiet, so reserved, trains on his own. He's the embodiment of everything I want to be as a strongman. I really enjoy Trey as a strongman. I want to see more from him. I want to see the Trey Mitchell YouTube channel make a return. Anthony, I said on Terry's video I could see Lucas missing the finals or on the podium, and neither would surprise me. Yeah, me too. Like, I could see Lucas, out of the finals or top 2, like, genuinely. Like, Lucas is an absolutely amazing athlete. It's very interesting to see how he's going to cope at Worlds, and I think he will cope very well. Grimdorp Future, I think everyone's in danger realistically. It's going to be a really, really tough comp. Completely agree. Really, really do agree. Rob Massey, how many reps do you think will win the deadlift? 11. That is my number. That is my guess. I reckon 11 will win. I reckon in the big deadlift group, someone might go out and do 10, and then someone else will have to do 11 to beat it, and I think that doesn't get beaten by anyone else. So that's my guess. Bronze Shop, Lucas knows how to win. Mateusz didn't seem confident at all. Apparently he was having issues in the throw and testing too. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I know Mateusz's big goal is just to make the finals, so if he can do that, I'm sure he'll be very, very happy, but Lucas has a great shot as well. Anthony, I just finished squatting and some grip work now on my way to work. Yep, classic. I also do grip at the end of leg day. I find that's the best place to do it. So yeah, I do my squats and then grip on the same day. Andrew, yes, Anthony, if he makes the final, he can podium. Completely agree. Roddy, hey Toby, love the vids, man. Thank you very, very much. Question, what do you think the winning number will be on the 18-inch max deadlift and Flintstone barbell press? That all depends on who makes the final, you know. I think the 18-inch deadlift, I think we will see a new record, but I don't think by much. I don't think people will push Mitch too hard on that, but I think they will push him enough to get a new record. And then similarly on the Flintstone barbell press, if Lucas Hatton makes the final, it's going to be considerably higher. But if he doesn't, then I think we'll see something around 245, 250. You have to remember it's after so many days in a row of competing, so I don't think we'll see as high as we've seen like in training and stuff like that, but around the 250, 255 mark is where I expect that to be. Bronchop, Reno is the guy I'm excited to see by far. I'm really excited to see how Reno does as well. I don't know nearly anything about him. I've almost deliberately not gone back and watched anything of his because I want to be surprised. I'm really excited to see how he does. Marcus, what other strongman does Shane MST coach? I know 5. Tom, both the Lukes, Pavlo, Shane Flowers. He said 8. I know Matt Ragg's in there as well. Has 1. So how? Yeah, I don't know who else out of that. Yeah, it's a good question. I know Matt Ragg's an extra one. I've probably forgotten a very obvious one. So chat, help us out. Melvin, curious to know, do you train any double overhand axle deadlifts? If so, what is my PB? I don't train them often, but I have done them. I've done 180 kilo on that, which isn't too shabby. If I trained it more regularly, I could probably push it a bit more. But yeah, I don't do it often. Maybe I should. I probably should. Melvin, curious to know, do you... Oh, I just read that one. Liquid Bishop, after watching all the Boneyard videos, I'm confident Hatton will make it into the finals. Yeah, the more I see of Hatton, the more confident it's making me. Obviously, I didn't predict him to, mainly out of jest, but also because I wanted to back Shane Flowers. But, you know, he's looking really, really good, and he's looking confident as well, which is a great place to be. The Death Metal channel, hello, greetings from Paraguay. Awesome. Here's my podium, Tom, Mitch, Lucas. I think that's a pretty safe podium. In what order, I don't know, but seems pretty realistic to me. PT, I'm growing so tired with athletes' personal bullshit. Lack of professionalism. You know what? I just pay it no attention. I'm just here to watch people lift heavy things. That's what I like, so I just don't pay it as much attention as other people do. Alex, my grip training is mostly just my job. Lol. Gotta love being a blacksmith. Hey, that is an absolutely killer job. That sounds awesome. If I knew how to get into it, I would. But currently, I'm sat at a desk doing software engineering for my day job. But I'd love to do something more active, and that's why I do strongman, I guess. But a blacksmith sounds like an absolutely killer job, and I bet you got some hands on you for sure. Oh, right. So how long have we been on? We've been on... God, time's flying. We've already been on about half an hour. It's going. Sugar Steve, if Hatton comes mid-pack on the deadlift during the finals, he will podium. Yeah, I reckon so. Yeah, it's interesting. Because 18-inch deadlift's not actually a great deadlift for a lot of guys who are usually decent at deadlift. So if Hatton can pick up a few points on that, it'll be very interesting. I'm not sure how he is from 18 inches, but I know a few people do struggle. Ronald Ryan's, yeah, IT Nerds Assemble. Honestly, it seems to be an incredibly popular job among strongman fans, is some form of IT, engineering, software, computer, something like that. Like, it seems to be a hell of a lot of people have those sorts of jobs, and I wonder if it's just because it allows us the flexibility to watch strongman all the time, and everyone who can't is actually at work and doesn't join the chats, but we'll see. Alex, I'm stoked to see Reno. Looking at the archives page, he doesn't have any holy shit event results. He just looks incredibly well-rounded. I think so. I think give Reno, a year or two to bring that whole level up a bit. He's going to start being incredibly, incredibly good. Melvin, cool. 180 is actually my current goal. Did a rather comfy 168 a few weeks ago. 1.5 months into double overhand axle training. Yeah, I'm sure you'll get there. I sort of did it like at a time where I was doing a lot of like rolling handle training, but not too much other grip training, and I just sort of did it out of just having a mess around. So I do really want to give it some proper time in training grip stuff. A lot of my grip stuff lives on the members only section. I haven't posted a lot of it recently for two reasons. In that I haven't been doing a lot of grip training recently. I've been running out of time quite a bit. And 2, I haven't actually had any members for a little while, so I sort of backed off a bit, but I know I need to make content on there to push the membership. But if you're interested in grip, that's sort of where I post it over there. So there are a few videos in the locker from grip training a few months ago, but that'll be where it goes if I do pick it back up, because it doesn't do that great on the algorithm. It's quite a niche thing, isn't it? Bash Crash, not World's Strongest Man related, but how's your partner's Strongwoman progress? There isn't one of those. That's where I'll leave that. But either way, not got one, and certainly not got one that's a strong woman, so there you go. Chris, I've said once and I'll say it again, bunch of strong engineers. Absolutely. We all love it for some reason. It is fantastic. Alex, I will say, between smithing and strongman training, torn calluses are just a fact of life. Yeah, I can imagine. Your hands must be pretty messed up, to be honest, with torn calluses and the like. Andrew Gooperson, almost 100. Good lord. Hello, everyone. I couldn't imagine seeing 100 people in one place, let alone talking to them. I live in the absolute middle of nowhere, so it's rare that I see another human being outside my own family. So the fact I'm sat here chatting to 100 people is pretty mental. Roddy, would you ever do a grip comp? I did one a few months ago. Loads of fun. Doesn't affect my training. Yeah, you know what? I would. Honestly, if it falls on a good day and it's local, I know Paddy hosts a few down at the farm. I might just give one a go on a whim. Probably not train for it. Just see what I can do. It's just a bit of fun. I love doing grip, just as a bit of like a nerdy fun thing that I do. Ronald, slight side note, that's a lovely Strat in the background. Do you play much? Not at all. No, these guitars haven't been off that wall in over 10 years. They are both actually really small because they're child's guitars, because I only played when I was like 11 and haven't touched them since. So they're just there because I have nowhere else to put them and they look kind of cool on the wall. So sorry to disappoint any of the musicians in the chat, but it's not me. I don't do that stuff. Joshua, do you have someone there updating you, or are you spreadsheet watching? I will be spreadsheet watching. I will be sat in the live chat with all of you, watching Loz and Liz, finding out exactly the same time as all of you. Same as everything. A lot of people seem to think I have some insider knowledge with Strongman. I really don't. Even like the groups, everything, all of the videos I've made, I found out the exact same time as all of you did. No one told me anything in advance. I didn't pre-record anything. I have absolutely no insider information going on, so I hope to one day to have that, but not currently. I find out when I do. I'm just quite quick at the recording and editing side of things to get it up on time. But yeah, that is it. I'll be in the spreadsheet chat watching with all of you, and yeah, this live chat is going to end on or before Loz and Liz's start time, because I want to watch it as much more than I want to be sat here chatting and doing my own one, because I am a fan at the end of the thing. And Bash Crash, thank you so much. Sorry bro, have a pint on me. I absolutely will do that. When the weather gets nicer, I will be going down to the local pub and spending that £5 on the nicest cider I can find. I don't drink a lot, or really ever, to be honest, but if the sun's out, the cider is absolutely calling me. And if it doesn't go on that, it'll certainly go on a lot of Monsters and Reigns, because I drink way too many of them. Melvin, just made a 55mm rolling handle for my home gym, along with a few other grip tools like crimp grips, etc. Excited to see how it helps my axle deadlifts. Yeah, rolling handles are an absolutely massive one for helping axle deadlifts. I think it is the best carryover, and I think it's really good for strongman as well. Josh saying Loz and Liz are there in person. I don't know if they're doing a live video. They certainly are. They're all scheduled over on their channels. Liz is going to be going live, watching the events and telling us exactly what is happening play by play. So I'd highly recommend going to check that out, because it's going to be a different kettle of fish this year with the spreadsheet parties. It's going to be good fun. Liquid Bishop, what do you think about Luke Richardson's form and chances? Podium possible. You know, Luke is an absolutely fantastic athlete, and I think a lot of the time I just don't know, because Luke is a very unpredictable athlete as well, as I'm sure he'd say himself. But you know, if Luke has a good showing, he could be up there. I know he wouldn't have preferred a 18-inch deadlift. That's not the best deadlift for him in the final. But, you know, he's got every chance to do it. He's an absolutely phenomenal athlete. So, Michael Jordan, Cerberus Triple Ply or Cerberus Neoprene? I'm going to answer this question with both. I use the Triple Ply on my knee sleeves and absolutely love them. They provide a great amount of support for my dodgy knees. And then I use the Neoprenes on the elbow sleeves because I find the Triple Ply to be too tight on the elbow sleeves, and it really messes up my log cleaning, because if I've got Triple Ply on, I can't like get as tight on a log clean, because obviously you're like out there, so it's much harder to get that log clean going. So I prefer the neoprene because they are lovely and comfy, but still provide a good amount of support without being too restrictive. So I'd go for the Triple Ply on the legs and the neoprene on the elbows. That's what I do. Andrew's saying Old Rosie cider, absolutely 10 out of 10. Proper countryside cider, that. I absolutely love it. Actually, fun fact about me, I actually brew my own cider, home brew as well. And I've got a lot of that in the garage, which is just absolutely gorgeous. So, yeah, proper Cotswold to me. But any apple cider, I will absolutely love it. Sugar Steve, I think Richardson will be just happy to make the finals. I think Richardson's just happy to be at Worlds again, to be honest. Like, he's had such a tough few years that it's so good to see him back and competing well. So I hope he has a good showing. Michael Jordan, cheers, no problem. Stoltman brothers in the house. Absolutely awesome that these guys are here. Hopefully all goes well. Both are looking in incredible shape. I would kind of like to see Tom bring back another trophy for the British Pride, but it'll be certainly very interesting. I want to see how they get on, looking in insane shape. Partagaz, I tried to size down on my knee sleeves, couldn't get the bastards on. I've never done that. I've always just had a comfy fit on knee sleeves. I don't really care much for like super tight, super restrictive stuff. Like some people absolutely swear by it that they have to be as tight as you could possibly have them. But certainly on elbow sleeve and stuff like that, I just found it more of a hindrance than a help. Same with like knee wraps. Whenever I do knee wraps, I never do them particularly tightly, more just to support my patellas, and then I don't really bother too much about the spring out the hole. I just prefer a bit of support, a bit of comfort, and that's about it. Ethan Robertson, have we ever seen the sandbag load with varying distances before outside of Road 2023 and this year's heats? I'm not sure. Probably at some point. I've done it at a competition. I've done a loading medley with different distances. I think it's good. I think it's cool. Like I love to see a loading medley which is maybe not as many bags or as long, but some like properly heavy, difficult bags that are a bit more of a slog. That's what I want to see. Is that Luke S in the chat? Yeah, I'm interested to know who's on the end of that account, whether it's one of the boys or a social media guy. I don't know. Interested to know. But yeah, fully excited for this competition. It is insane. I'm just loving the amount of English athletes there. Like, really am. I'm quite a patriotic man. And I am very glad to see a good roster of English guys. I've spoken to quite a few of them. In fact, I think I've spoken, if not directly, indirectly, to every British guy going, and I just can't wait to see how they do. But every athlete there is going to do insanely well. I hope everyone just has a great performance, and it is the most competitive Worlds we've seen, because the fan in me wants to see a proper good show, and I'm sure all of you think the same thing. What event is everyone looking forward to the most in this competition? What do you guys want to see? Because I think for me, the event that I'm actually looking forward to the most is, I like the idea of the Zercher into arm over arm. I really can't wait to see that one. I love a good like weird medley like that. That's sort of fun. The Stones of the World I think are going to be really excited. That is one I'm very excited for. Postman saying 4 Canadians, unfortunately only 2 heats. Yeah, I mean, Worlds only care about spreading out the British and the American guys. They don't care about spreading out the others, unfortunately. Andrew, do you compete at OSG? No, I do not. No, I am still very much an amateur. Not good enough for that yet, but maybe one day. DV3000. The excitement was clearly getting to par. He looked really sad to not be competing. I wouldn't know how to do it if I was a reserve out there. Like, I'd hate just sitting on the sidelines. I'd want to have a go at everything. Alvin's looking forward to the 18-inch deadlift. Me too. I'm really glad that we're seeing a max deadlift variation that's not just from the floor, suited or suitless. I love an elevated deadlift, and I know some people find it boring, but I don't at all. I'm really excited to see how that one goes. Marcus is looking forward to the new sandbag throw. I certainly am as well. It's a good twist on an event that I was getting quite bored of, so I'll be very interested to see how that goes. Zol saying, I'm surprised there's no top-level strongman from Asia, like at all. I just don't think it's known out there. I think as soon as we break into that scene, we could start seeing some more people coming from that side of the world. I just don't think it's really a known thing over there. Andrew's looking forward to the Flintstone. Me too, mate, me too. I really hope Lucas can make the final so we can see some big stuff on that. Alex is saying, my first comp had a Zercher squat for max from the floor. That sounds fantastic. I would love to do that in a competition. I love weird stuff like that. I mean, if you guys have watched this channel for like a long time, back in like 2020, 2021 days where I first started, I used to do all sorts of weird Zercher squats, Jefferson deadlifts, just random crap like that I wanted to give a go. I don't do it so much now because I think Loz would shout at me, but you know. Alvin wants to see the squat come back. Me too. There is a severe lack of squats in World's Strongest Man and any strongman comp recently. I just want to see a good old globe squat where we don't care too much about the judging. We don't care too much about the depth. We just have them go down, hit some pads, come back up, get an up and down signal, whatever. That's enough. I think overcomplicating it with a million referees is just annoying, and I'd love to see it come back. Melvin saying, first and last event, always the most exciting. Actually looking forward to the Hercules hold too. Was not a fan at first when they released the events. I don't like it as a finals event, just because there's not enough finals events in my opinion. There's 6, which is, like, there's 5 and then there's 6, which is the 5 heats events, which is obviously a lot of events. If this was a straight 10 event show where every event was weighted the same, love the Hercules hold in there. But I don't think the Hercules hold is the best test of who's the strongest, but I do love it as an event. So I'm kind of glad it's in there. Kind of think it should have been reserved for the heats or like a Giants Live. I think it's perfect in. So yeah. Marcus saying, with scamming I mean him looking semi-interested and then defeated but actually being well up for it. Yeah, is this about par perhaps? I don't know. Elliot saying, hello lads, do we know when it's likely to kick off? I believe in a couple hours time. Loz and Liz have the live stream set for, I think, 2 hours time, so that is likely when it's going to kick off. Warren saying, as a Stoltman fan, I'm looking forward to the Stone medley in the heats. As a Strongman fan, I want to see Lucas pushed in the Flintstone. Me too. That is spot on, really. I'd love to see Lucas get to those finals purely because I like Lucas, but also to see him on the Flintstone. Chris, we can't have Loz yelling at us. No, not at all. Got to do what we're told. Got to stay on programme, you know. Andrew saying, squat-wise, I agree. The old way of going down to the pads. Yeah, I think it was fine. I don't know why we need to overcomplicate every squat we get forward. I know there's going to be vocal people online saying that wasn't depth, that wasn't this, that wasn't that. But we're not powerlifting. We're strongman. Just give them a bar, get them down to some pads, and the strongest man will still do well. Like, it is what it is. Just get on with it and bring us our squats back. Marco, no, my first comments was my chance Kaliskovsky was scamming everyone. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I'm with you now. I am with you. Yeah, he's doing his classic, downplaying his abilities and actually doing really well. Yeah, no, Matthias is big for that. He underestimates himself massively, but I'd love to see him do really, really well. World's Strongest Man 2025 scoring is kind of like SCL Finals scoring. What do you think about World's Strongest Man going full OSG? I think that would be a good way to do it. I really do. I think the way they've done it now is the best they can do it in the current format. But I'd like them to go either OSG style or full 10 event comp. Marco, what is the best event for me? Deadlift, I guess. I don't know, you know. For me, deadlift for reps is considerably better than deadlift for max. I guess I'm a bit like Paddy in that regard, where I just can go on a deadlift for reps, way more than I can do a deadlift for max. Grip holds are really, really good. Something like a Hercules hold would be very good for me. The tractor hold I did at the Haynes Farm Open, I came second in. Like, anything grip hold is incredible for me. That's a really good event. I'm pretty decent at front carries for distance, like Husafel, stuff like that. Loading medleys I'm decent at as well. I guess my one Achilles, it really is just my overhead is not as good as it needs to be. Like, I'm pretty consistent across the board otherwise, but my overhead is lagging behind a little bit, but we're working on it. Alex saying, I saw an interview with a Japanese strongman talking about two big issues with getting strongman to take off in Japan: a social pressure for big guys to go into sumo. Yeah, that actually makes a hell of a lot of sense. I guess, yeah, if you're a big guy, you're going to sumo. It's a bit like in America in the past, all the big guys go straight into American football and then come to strongman afterwards, but now we're seeing a lot more people go into strongman specifically, so interesting, yeah. Alexios, strongman is mostly a European and North American thing with only some countries. It doesn't help that people like David Shamey, who are clearly world class, can't go to World's Strongest Man because of their nationality. It's tough. Yeah, I get it because of visas and things, and I'm sure like it's no personal thing, but it is rough. Grimdork Future, I wouldn't mind just having judges and a light system for squats like powerlifting. I just want to see a squat. Yeah, I mean, I find powerlifting exceedingly boring, but if it is what we have to do to bring it into strongman, I just want to see a squat again, man. Max saying, afternoon. Good afternoon, mate. We are soon kicking off to World's Strongest Man. I am very excited, so I thought I'd come on and chat with all of you. Alexios, and strength athletes in Eastern countries have Ollie weightlifting, which countries almost non-existent in strongman dominate. Yeah, completely agree. Like, there's always the other sports that take away our strongman athletes. But hopefully as we get bigger, more and more will come and do strongman first off. Man from Brussels, overhead also takes a long time to build too. It doesn't often shoot up overnight. I completely agree. And my build as well, like, I've got very, very long arms, which makes me pretty good at deadlift, loading, carrying things, but it is a bit harder for overhead. So we'll keep working. My overhead's not bad. It certainly isn't bad. It's just not the same sort of level as my deadlift is, I guess. Sugar Steve, I wonder if any heavyweight Chinese Ollie lifters could make the transition to strongman. Yeah, I'm sure they probably could. I wouldn't be shocked if they did well. It is a big transition though, going from two very technical disciplines to, is it 2 or 3? I can't remember. I don't watch Ollie weightlifting at all. But to strongman, where it's such a broad range of very technical things, it's a tough transition. Zol, I think World's Strongest Man would love to have Asian representation too, so maybe they get invited faster. Yeah, I mean, I think the days of World's Strongest Man inviting countries just for the sake of it are over. I think they know now that we want to see the best of the best and we don't really care where they're from. But if we do get one of the best guys in Asia, I think they would have a good, easy time getting invited. Louis, Farmers is another event that I haven't seen in a while in big comps. I agree. I love watching a Farmers. I think Farmers are absolutely fantastic. I love doing Farmers. I love doing Farmers in comp. I'm good at Farmers and I love watching Farmers. I would love to see like a Farmers walk for max weight where there's maybe like 6 Farmers in a row. Maybe like a Farmers medley or something. And there's like 6 Farmers lined up and you pick up, you run 10 metres, you turn, you pick up the next one, run 10 metres back, and they get progressively heavier. I think would be really, really cool, rather than just a normal Farmers for distance or something. Something like that where they get progressively heavier would be really cool. Warren, is powerlifting a more lucrative sport financially for sponsors for your mid-tier athletes? I think so. I think so. Powerlifting, even though it's boring to watch, is certainly in the UK much more mainstream. They do it at pretty much every big university. They do it a lot. And a lot of people I know are in powerlifting who don't even know what strongman is. I think for the average consumer, powerlifting is the easiest one to get into, the more alluring one to get into because you only have to do 3 things. And I just think it's more popular at the minute. Strongman is way more fun, way cooler, and every time I get powerlifters to try strongman, apart from my brother, they much prefer it, but it just needs to get bigger. I think powerlifting is just the mainstream thing out of the strength sports at the minute. Dakota, American football linemen would be monsters in Strongman. I think Kaz, Tom Evans, and Bryce Johnson were all former NFL linemen. Yeah, fully agree. I think a lot of those guys would do absolutely mental. Jane saying, hi Toby, only 2 hours to go. I know, I'm very, very, very excited. Mitchell saying, do you have a mostly US following? My following is pretty 50-50 between UK and US. I've got a big UK following, obviously being British, having that British banter. But it's like something like 52% UK, 46% US, and like 3% Canada or something. There's a few others here and there. But mainly it's like a 50-50 split UK-US for me. LFB, since you said you have longer arms, did you ever measure your wingspan versus your height? Yes, I did. My height is 6 foot. I am 184 centimetres, so just bang on between 6 foot and 6'1". But my wingspan is about 6'3", 6'4". So it is, a good few inches longer than my height. Warren saying, 104 watching, less than 50 likes. Show Toby some love and help spread the weight party for World's Strongest Man hype. Yes, please do. Go down below. Like this video. Get supporting. We are trying to grow this channel. Obviously, we do all the pro strongman stuff, but this is my first time really getting into the lives sort of thing. So if you want to see these more in the future, maybe once a month, something like that, before big shows, we can definitely do them because they are good fun. Andrew's saying, World's Strongest Man have realised that strongman's a legit sport rather than a TV show. We have a lot to thank World's Strongest Man for. I agree. They laid the groundwork and we built off it, and hopefully they can continue building as well. Melvin, farmers with increasing weight sounds great. I'd love to have it in a comp, particularly suited to my strength. Me too. I would love to see it. I absolutely would. I think it would be awesome. Zol saying, I wish there was more money in powerlifting and strongman, but hey, it has been increasing a lot later. Yeah, it's just on a complete upward trajectory. I mean, if even me, some random guy here in his bedroom, can start earning money off of strongman, admittedly not a lot at all from this channel. Like, I don't break even doing strongman at all, because obviously I do it as a hobby. That's not why I do it, but I'm nowhere near to making any sort of a living off this channel. But even if I can make some pocket money off this channel talking strongman, it's shown that the sport's getting so much wider, the sport's getting so much bigger, and more money will come into the sport, more and more eyes will get on the sport, and that is what we want to see. Like, we really do just want to see it keep going. So let's get it going. SLK saying, greetings from Canada. Greetings. I've never been to Canada, but I sure do want to at some point. It looks great over there. Alex, let's be honest, the way to get good talent from other areas isn't to send random invites, it's to invest in, grow the grassroots level and the qualification system. Completely agree. We need qualifiers from across the globe, and luckily with OSG you can do an online qualifier. We just need to get the word out there. Warren saying, that is strange to me, as the layman, like my parents, would watch World's Strongest Man at Christmas, but have never seen a powerlifting expo before. I thought both were niche, but World's Strongest Man has more exposure due to TV. Yes, I agree. That is the difference, though, in that they know World's Strongest Man, the TV show. They don't know Strongman, the sport. No one knows Strongman's an actual sport, whereas more people know that powerlifting's an actual sport, and there are more people participating in powerlifting than there are participating in Strongman, even though like the top level of Strongman, World's Strongest Man, has the higher viewership, but they only view that as the TV show. They don't actually know about the whole sport as something outside of that. So that's why I say powerlifting is more mainstream. What I mean by that is the participation, people doing it, people knowing about it, the Instagram followings, that sort of thing. Whereas World's Strongest Man, to the layperson, is just a TV show. Lucas, do you watch any sports besides Strongman? No, not at all. I only watch Strongman. It's the only thing I'm interested in. I've never been into sports, ever. At school, I never did sports. I don't care for sports whatsoever. Strongman is the only sport that I like. It is the only sport that I follow. And it's the only sport I participate in. So, yeah, I'm purely Strongman for me. Callum, do I know what time it starts today? 6 p.m. UK time. I think it's like 1 p.m. Wherever they are, Sacramento, I think. I don't know. Someone will correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. James, I'm in the US, and if I come across the pond, we need to do a session together. I think I might come for a Giants event. Yeah, I mean, I'll be probably at some Giants events this year. I do want to go to some, but it's just expensive, and I don't like leaving the house. But I do want to get to. And if anyone ever sees me out and about at any event, don't hesitate to come say hi. I like a good chat. PT1 from Finland too. Appreciate it. Alexios, powerlifting is just so boring. It's just way worse. Weightlifting with a bunch of rules, suits and spotters. If you watch 1 minute of weightlifting, you will see what I mean. Yeah, fair enough. I don't watch either powerlifting or weightlifting. I find them both boring. I just like Strongman because it's what I do. It's what I follow. Really, really enjoy it. Andrew, Toby, it needs to be said, you are very good at this. Speed reading comments, quick answers. Look, I just love a waffle. I just love chatting. People struggle to get me to shut up about Strongman in my normal life, with my normal friends, my colleagues, that sort of thing. So when I have the opportunity to jump on here with like 113 people and just chat Strongman, you best believe I am going to be rattling off my thoughts on it, because it's the only time I get to chat about it. So I am really thankful everyone's here to join me for that. Really am. Peter, I don't see the flack World's Strongest Man gets, because they try their best despite the contract that's lasted 50 years, making sure it's stuck on telly. I mean, yeah, I agree-ish. They obviously have their issues, and they've obviously had issues with athlete stuff in the past and things like that. But it's only recently that I've even known about the contract, and a lot of people have known about the contract, I think. So I think a lot of the criticism was from a lack of knowledge from the normal people, and they're doing a lot better now at communicating why things are the way they are, which is far, far better. Callum, how am I keeping anyway? I'm keeping pretty good, man. It's World's Strongest Man week. I'm here chatting to you guys about Strongman. Like, I'm living the life. I couldn't be better. Stephen, powerlifting is easy to get into. Equipment rise. The nearest place to me has even basic Strongman equipment is 40-minute drive away and 4 times the price of my normal gym. Yeah, powerlifting anyone can get into. Like when I lived in Cheltenham, in Cardiff, there just weren't Strongman gyms near that were like public and you can go in without contacting someone and stuff like. But you can do powerlifting in any gym. Like the closest Strongman gym for me that's public access is down where Loz trains, and that's an hour drive. And I'm not going to do that every session, so I had to invest in my own equipment and my own home gym. It's just hard to get into, and I know all the Americans are going to say an hour drive is not a lot. For the British it is. For the British, we don't like moving around. SLK, you're British and don't like football? Nah, not at all. Doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. I find it really, really boring. Never been into it, never supported a team. I've been to a few games with friends over the years, but it's never been my thing. Peter, another reason why people do powerlifting, it's cheap. Sorry to say powerlifters, you can go to a pure gym and do 3 lifts without an issue. Absolutely, it's super easy, super cheap. And I mean, you could do good strongman training out of a public gym. I went to a gym group for 3 out of my 4 sessions a week for the last few years before I moved back home permanently. Like, you can get a really good base of strongman done in a public gym, so don't let that put you off. It's just the specific equipment's harder to come by for strongman. But for 90% of people, you don't even need the specific equipment to build a good base for strongman. Like, you really don't. Iced, fellow enjoyer of picking things up and putting them down. It's the best, isn't it? Like, it's so good. I just love picking up rocks. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys know how I got my start in strongman, but it's not the typical, I used to watch it at Christmas, I've always wanted to be a strongman, that sort of thing. It's actually a really weird story, so I'll tell it quickly while we're on the live, and hopefully not get too far behind. But in lockdown, obviously everything shut down. I had just started while I was at uni going to the gym and doing some lifting, and my first time I ever did a deadlift, I deadlifted 140 kilo. The first time I ever maxed it out, which is pretty decent. It's like 300 pounds-ish. And I enjoyed just the strength stuff. I didn't care for cardio, anything like that. And then lockdown happened, and I was stuffed. I was stuck. And then I didn't have anything to train with in lockdown, so I ordered a barbell and some plates, but they were going to take a month to arrive. So while I was bored, I had a load of big boulders in the garden from where we had dug up a flower bed, and I googled, how do I lift rocks? Literally that sentence. And I think an Alan Thrall Atlas Stone video came up where he was teaching the stuff, and then I was like, oh, those are the things from World's Strongest Man, because I had seen it as a child and throughout the years, but I'd never sort of put 2 and 2 together in my mind. And then I watched more, and then I found Loz's channel, and then I got really invested, and then World's Strongest Man 2020 was happening, and there was the live stream parties and the weight parties, and I jumped in, and I've been hooked ever since. Like, completely hooked. But it all came from just necessity of only being able to train with rocks and not wanting to give up my strength training. And I've been a strongman ever since. So there you go. Bit of a weird story of how I got into it, but it was literally just accidentally finding Alan Thrall's channel when I was Googling how to lift rocks and then going down the strongman rabbit hole. So here we are. Where did I get to? Paget, you won't be trying for a new PB at the same time they're all doing their deadlifts? No, I'm pretty beaten up after my 300 kilo pull last week. I'm still feeling I need at least a week off. Zol, familiar with Colton. He's only like 250 pounds body weight, 25 years old, but broke the all-time world record powerlifting. He came to Strongman. Yeah, he's an absolute beast. It is ridiculous that he's lighter than me, only slightly older, and doing those crazy things. Like, I'd love to see him make the transition to Strongman. Warren, my nearest gym is the Stoltman gym, 2 hours away, only recently made public again. Yeah, I mean, it's tough for Strongman gyms. There's a lot more of them in the north of England. There's not too many down south here. And then obviously the Stoltmans are up in Scotland. But it's tough, man. It's tough. Sway Station, shame I'm an hour too late. Well, I'm going to stick on for a little bit longer. So we can keep having a chat. Maybe half an hour more. Something like that. We'll see. My voice is starting to hurt. But if you guys are still chatting, I'm still happy to keep going. I've got nowhere to be but a spreadsheet party later. So let's keep it going. Peter, and is it possible because this contract is ending, they are changing the format to prepare for the contract end, and once it ends they can change the way the comp is done behind the scenes? I hope so. I hope that they are laying the groundwork to making it a much better competition. They've already made such fantastic changes now that I'm super excited to see where it goes when that contract ends. Callum, Mitch or Tom, for the win this year, I'm going to back Mitch. I'd love to see Tom do it, but I think Mitch is just in too good shape this year. It's just ridiculous seeing his training. I think he's going to do quite well. Alex, could perhaps I get you into sword sports? Honestly, it sounds really cool, but I don't think I'd be very good at partaking. My coordination's not the best, but I love the idea of it. I love the look of it. Partigaz, I miss Fat Alan Thrall, Prime Comad and Ice Alan Thrall. Oh, me too, man. Me too. I love Alan. I think what he does for the strength and strongman world is fantastic. And I love his channel because it's not like a YouTuber channel. It is just Alan Thrall's channel. He just talks his stuff, does his things, tries to help people out. He's exactly the type of YouTuber I want to be. And you can probably see that in a lot of my videos. Like, I just waffle and talk about what I want to talk about. And yeah, Alan's an absolute saint. Sway Station, Alan Thrall was the first strength YouTuber I watch, and then Brian Olsrud, and then Loz. That's exactly the same trajectory I took. Like, genuinely, I watched Alan, I watched Brian, I think I watched Juji Mufu in there as well, and then I found the pure strongman specific ones like Loz, obviously Eddie and stuff back in the day, and when we had like the Prime World's Strongest Man times where everyone would be racing to upload vlog videos from World's Strongest Man. That's what got me hooked. SLK tournament starts in 2 hours. I believe so. Alexios, is Loz's gym in Swindon or Gloucester? Yeah, that's fair. You don't spell Gloucester, you just say it. No, it's down in Swindon. Pro Strength and Fitness, it's a public gym. So yeah, it's good fun. But yeah, there's literally, as far as I know, there's no strongman gyms at all in Cheltenham or Gloucestershire or anything like that, which is unfortunately where I lived. So yeah. Sway Station, I'm waiting for the watch party, so this is a pleasant surprise. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm doing, and that's why we're doing this live, because I was also just very bored waiting for the watch party, so I thought, why don't we do a pre-watch party? We could do a watch party of the watch party, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to do a pre-watch party and have a chill time. Alex saying, apparently Rob Kearney pulled £500 for his first deadlift session, which is insane. That is insane. That is ridiculous. I can't remember how Rob got into the sport. I don't know if he did any sports before that, but when I say I didn't do any sports growing, like literally, when I was in my teenage years, I was a very fat gamer who didn't leave the house at all. So I had no baseline whatsoever before I started and pulled that 140. Like, I just had natural strength there. But yeah, some of the guys at the top, like, they've pulled some ridiculous things their first ever time trying. Toxic Truth, Booter Mitch, Big Tommy has this, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him do it, and I wouldn't be unhappy to see him do it. Untamed Strength is 100% somewhere I want to go eventually. Me too, and I mean, it's in Sacramento, so I'm surprised more of the guys haven't gone to check it out, to be honest, because It seems like an absolutely awesome place. If you didn't do strongman, what other strength sport would you compete in? I don't think I'd compete, to be honest. Like, I barely compete in strongman. That's not why I do it at all. I just do it because the training's fun. And I think it would be the same. Like, if strongman didn't exist, I think I'd still just train the same way. At the end of the day, I just train the strongman movements because they're fun to me. And I think I'd do the same thing. Like, even if strongman didn't exist, I'd still be lifting weird objects, deadlifting, that sort of thing. So I guess the closest thing to that is powerlifting if I'd had to compete, but I don't really have any interest in competing in powerlifting. So I think I'd just continue as I am and just not compete, I guess. Andrew, it's a shame they're not doing Titan Turntable. The arena style means we won't get a vehicle pull. Yeah, it is a shame. That Titan Turntable was one of my favourite events. And the fact it's just there and they could have used it, I think it's the perfect time for it to make a comeback. But, you know, it is what it is. Peter, is it bad that despite I want to watch a live stream for World's Strongest Man, I'm going to miss the spreadsheet party, also wait until Christmas? By the way, is it possible to watch the CBS version in the UK without paying? Wink, wink. I am going to miss the spreadsheets when the live stream comes, but I'm sure people will still do watch parties and things like that. And as far as I know, no, but I'm guessing you can probably VPN it. I'm not sure. But I've personally never tried. I didn't even watch the Christmas edition of World's Strongest Man this year because I knew what happened. I had the spreadsheet parties, so I only watched it a few months later. I watched the final in like April or something. Callum, Lucas Hatton said they can post 15-second clips, so let's look forward to seeing a few clips, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully we do. That would be really cool to see some good clips. Thrun Gaming, can World's Strongest Man be watched in the UK? Yes, but we have to wait till Christmas, so I'll see you guys at Christmas time to watch it. Andrew, my heart says Tom, my head says Mitch. I agree. I'd love Tom to win, but I think Mitch is going to do it. Louis, what do you think about the English guys' chances of getting to the finals? I think Luke definitely will. Shane has a good chance. Paddy has a chance. And I think Andrew can do okay and won't make the final. Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think my two big ones that I think have a really good shot at making the final are Luke and Shane. And I think if Paddy has a good day on the stone press, he'll make it as well. Oliver Jones, do a Gogglebox style reaction to the watch party. Yeah, just laugh at things that Liz and lost. So yeah, no, I'm gonna be in the chat. I'm gonna be hanging out with all of you guys. I won't be streaming over them because I am a fan first and foremost. I just do this for a bit of fun. Jane, the CBS TV version is even worse than the UK Channel 5 version. Yeah, I've heard that, and the Channel 5 version's not that great either. SLK, starting my journey with Athlean X. That is a name I've not heard in a very long time. When I wanted to do more weight loss, Squat University, and then got into the strongman content. Yeah, I've watched a couple of Athlean X things, but I never really did like proper like weight loss stuff. I just did strength training and started eating properly, and then the weight fell off me, which was quite nice. And then obviously we bulked back up again. But yeah, for me, my entire strength and training journey has always been strongman. I've only ever known strongman. Sway Station, doing my first comp in June, July. 2 days, 10 events, can't wait. Sounds absolutely awesome. Sounds like a really fun competition. I hope it goes well. Andrew, given what you say about other sports, makes your running even more impressive. Thank you. Yeah, literally, when I did that running challenge, that is the most I've ever run, really ever. As I said, I did a bit of running when I was about 80 kilo back in 2021, but I only did that for like a couple months, and it was very on and off. It was never anything particularly regular for me, so it was very much outside my comfort zone, and I was quite pleased that my body held up as well as it did. Jane Ray, I used to compete in kettlebell sport, an even more niche sport. Yeah, that is proper niche sport, that. Joe, 15-second clips of the events. No way, that is major news. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I think they've done that in the past years, though. I think this is the first time we've heard it legitimised. Like, we've seen a few clips on Instagram in the past. Postman, the Hooper fans feared Tom wins, and the Tom fans fear Hooper wins. What a time to be a fan to watch this historic battle. And you know what, man? I'm a fan of both of them, so I hope they both win. You know, I'm a fan of everyone. Like, I just love strongman for strongman. I don't get too attached to one athlete. I love them all, and I hope they all do very well. This year you can actually compare everyone together because there's no holding back. Yes, that's going to be really interesting. I think we will see a full lineup of where the top 25 stand after this competition, after the heats anyway, where we can compare everyone going all out. It'll be really interesting. It is possible to watch the CPS version on CBS Sports. It just takes some looking around Google. Channel 5 version is better than the US version because they don't skip stuff. They do skip stuff. They don't skip as much, but they certainly do skip stuff. I just wish we got to see everyone do everything, to be honest, but I know that doesn't make for great TV. Which athletes do you think won't make it out the groups, but would have made it compared to everyone else? I think Paddy falls into that category. I hope he does make it out the groups. I really do. But I think Paddy, if that stone press doesn't go his way, I think he will do very, very well in the loading, the deadlift, the throw, like all the other events. So he could be one of those people that's really high in the overall standings, but lost out just because he's in such a tough group of deadlifters of people. So I think Paddy might fall into that category, but we'll see. Thoughts on Zurcher being a 10 metre turn and 10 metre back? Seems like the transitions are going to be making all the difference. I quite like it. I think that part of Strongman is your competency in transitioning between implements and being comfortable with the weights. So I think it's going to be really interesting. It doesn't seem that heavy that it's going to be too much of a hindrance for people, just sort of like a buy-in for the arm over arm. But yeah. Iced, did you have any concerns about running at a higher body weight? I thought about it, but I'm not trying to kill hips, knees and ankles. I did. I was absolutely terrified that I was going to absolutely ruin myself doing it, but I ran on grass, which helped massively. And actually, I will say, from running every day, my hips and knees felt better than they ever have in my entire life. Like, they felt really, really good after doing it, which I did not expect. My ankles did take a little bit of a beating, but not too much. It was mainly my calves and my lower back a little bit were feeling it, but also my lower back always feels it from training anyway, so I don't know if that was necessarily related. But I think the best way to do it is just to make sure you've got some good shoes on some pretty decently soft ground and just give it a go. And don't try and push yourself, because after a couple of days I started feeling fantastic and it started going really well. I think I watched the whole of Worlds 2023 via Insta stories. You and me both. I think I did as well. Max saying my main issue with World's Strongest Man on Channel 5 is the timeline. It's made out to be all of the comps in 2025 lead to World's Strongest Man, so fans like you and me know that 3 or 4 of the comps happen after, which feels weird. Yeah, it does. It is weird how they do that. It really, really is. The Bernard, Paddy is not a good thrower. Paddy is a good thrower. He just hasn't, like, I had a bit of a slip when he did throwing at Giants, but no, Paddy's a decent thrower. He really is. Like, he genuinely is. Melvin, Paddy in the finals and Trey on the podium is the main thing I'm hoping to see. I'd love to see Trey on the podium. Absolutely would. And Paddy in the finals, of course. But Trey on the podium would be awesome. Callum, that's what annoys me about World's Strongest Man. Oh yeah, I just read that one, didn't it? No, I didn't actually. You miss a lot of people doing the events, but you like and does make a good TV show to a non-Strongman fan. Yeah, I know. It's a shame. It really is. Oliver, I'm expecting Lucas Hatton to not make it out of his group. I think he will drop points on the loading with his recent illness impacting the cardio and did not look good at the stones in testing. I think Lucas will do pretty good. His loading will be fine. His illness seems to have left him, which is good. But yeah, I could see him not making, but the more I see of him, the more confident I am that he's going to make it. Jumping Scuba Steve Jack Flash. Hot take, the new Strongman subreddit should have called itself IFSA. So annoying to have 2 threads with people posting identical things. Wish the mod hadn't banned so many people. That would have been funny. That really would have been really been funny. Like, we've literally had a Reddit IFSA split. That's really funny. Yeah, it is a shame we got to check 2 now, but hey, we got twice the Strongman Reddit now, so bit of a win. But that's a good comment. I like that. James saying the reason I do and I'm a fan of Strongman is everyone wants everyone to do as good as they can and cheer on and help each other and are friends at the end of the day. Absolutely. Every local show I've done, everything I've been a part of, it's always been the way. Everyone just competes against themselves, which is the best way to be. Sway Station, I was planning on getting my gait analysed to get the right sort of shoes for running. As a 105 guy with plantar issues, I worry about running too. Yeah, I mean, it's worth doing. I know certainly here there are shops you can go into and they analyse your gait and get you the right shoes. I didn't do it, but I probably should have done. Joe gets shin splints from running, and I'm not even as fat as Toby. I know. I'm surprised I didn't, to be fair. I did a few warm-up exercises for the shin splints, so just some easy stretches, and it seemed to be fine. I used to get them real bad, but I didn't this time round. 10th out of 12 both times he did a throwing event. Yeah, I mean, throwing is one of the ones you can make a good mistake on, and yeah, he's made some mistakes on it, but we will see. We will see how it goes. Sway station. I used to get shin splints a lot until I started walking every day. Just had to start real slow for 15 minutes to let my calves warm up. Yeah, that's exactly what I do, is I just get warm and make sure my calves are warm, either by doing calf raises on the assault bike, just a light cycle. Just get the blood moving before you push into the hard running, and you should be fine. Alex, random thing, I would absolutely love Fortisibus to return. Yeah, I completely agree. I think that was a great comp. Damien, Mateusz recently said that he's getting in shape for the end of the year for the Rogue. For now, he's only aiming to make it for the finals. The events are terrible for him. I really hope we see Mateusz in shape for Rogue. I think that could be an incredible competition for him. And I hope he does well this competition as well. I really do. Callum, we need to see Lucas on the Flintstone lift looking at his training. We absolutely do. I really hope he makes the final purely to see him on that Flintstone lift. But also I think he could do very, very well with all of the final events. So I really hope to see him there. Right, well, I've been on for an hour and 15 minutes now. Thank you all so much for joining me. 122 people is absolutely mental. But I'm going to go have a bit of a chill before we jump into Loz and Liz's watch party. I'm super hyped. I'm super excited. I'm sure all of you are as well. So yeah, before we go off, if you guys haven't already, go down below, like the stream, subscribe to the channel, check out all the other World's Strongest Man content I've been putting out. And I said, if you want to go above and beyond, join as a member, post World's Strongest Man. I'll be doing lots more members only content, and we'll turn that into a nice little community. But anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. I should be back tomorrow, hopefully before the next events tomorrow. We will see, though. I'm not going to promise, but I want to be. So yeah, see you guys later at the watch party. Have a good one.